Hello, and thank you for watching this IALD Vote 2023 presentation. My name is Monica Luz Lobo, President of the IALD. I'm also joined by former Presidents Kevin Theobald, Barbara Horton-Lees, Victor Palacio, David Gatan, Douglas Leonard, and Christopher Knowlton, IALD's CEO. Since the pandemic started in 2020, IALD has been working hard to safeguard the long-term future of the association. This has included restructuring the headquarters, staff, programs, and services. These vital changes ensured that IALD's financial security was ensured and could continue to work for the benefit of the lighting community into the future. As we think about rebuilding the association, the Board of Directors and I are recommending proposals that will grow IALD into a stronger, more accessible, and useful association for our community. This presentation will outline the proposals that will be offered to a vote of the membership in November 2023. To start, I would like to give you some context on the IALD's current position and the environmental context of our members. IALD's vision is a statement of our long-term strategic direction, elevating the acknowledgement and appreciation of the power of light in human life. The organization's mission is a shorter-term goal, which is to advance our profession through education, community, and engagement. The vision and mission guide the association's direction, and the core purpose is the values we use while achieving the vision and mission. IALD has a rich history stretching back over 50 years. With this strong foundation, the board and I are focused on how the industry has changed and how IALD and the profession will need to evolve into the next 50 years.
The lighting design profession has seen significant change in the past 50 years. Some elements, such as human experience and visual quality, are enduring, but the way in which projects are delivered and the tools used have been subject to significant and rapid change. In many ways, change is a constant that lighting designers are accustomed to. When looking at external influences on the profession, it's clear the rate of change is accelerating. With the rise of influences such as artificial intelligence and environmental concerns, the role of the lighting designer and their businesses will require continued innovation and flexibility. This context will give rise to both challenges and opportunities. Thinking about how IALD serves its members, it's critical that the organisation is agile and able to respond to the changing landscape in which our members are operating. Currently, IALD has a small membership. While this generally means that our members are very highly qualified in the profession, it limits the ability for IALD to have a strong voice at an international or regional level. Here you can see the total number of members IALD and other allied associations have. On the right side, you can see IALD versus the other organisations from the US, India, Japan, and the Australia and New Zealand region. The more members we have, the greater our impact. In this graph, you can see IALD grew from 2011 to 2018, doubling the number of members. However, since 2018, the IALD membership numbers have been declining. Looking at individual member categories, you can see that many of them are trending downwards. The association needs to be significantly more effective at recruiting new members and retaining them within the organisation. The profession is also reaching a maturity level where we are starting to see retirements on a significant scale. If IALD does not focus on growing membership, the association faces a real risk of losing its relevance. Addressing these issues now, we have the opportunity to increase diversity, accessibility, and relevance to our members worldwide.
Addressing change. The IALD Board of Directors asked myself, Douglas Leonard, to chair the Membership 2023 Task Force. To understand the work and outcomes of this group, it can be helpful to give you some background. Back in 2016, the IALD Board of Directors and the Membership Committee identified some possible conflict between membership criteria and code of ethics that made it difficult for some applicants to access the ILD. To face the issue, the board established the first of 5 groups to study and report back. This group concludes that it is necessary a deeper understanding of the way in which the profession is being practiced in different parts of the world where the organization has or aspires to have a strong presence. This conclusion leads to the formation of the Business Model Task Force that included a diverse group of ILD members, non-members, and consultants. The group findings concluded that changes were needed in the governing documents of the ILD to bring the organization in line with the evolution of professional practice and the globalization of the lighting industry. So the board of directors asked past president Victor Palacio to form the membership criteria task force to review and identify potential conflicts in bylaws and suggest possible changes. The conclusions of this group included the recommendation of a review to the Code of Ethics by a specific committee. This work has been started late in 2019, but interrupted by the pandemic and paused while the ILD leadership focused their attention and resources to navigate the financial challenges derived from this global crisis. During this year, the board of directors voted to increase the ILD membership and to form a membership task force that synthesized the work of all previous groups and came back with recommendations to support this growing. And this is how we get to the Membership 2023 Task Force that includes President Monica Lobo and last 5 past presidents. The group represents over a decade of presidential leadership and more considering committee and board service. The group was tasked with drawing together a set of conclusions for the board and the ILD membership at large. The membership task force identified change has been a constant and ILD presence is at risk. Using the challenge statement, the group worked to create a modern, accessible membership which aligns with the diverse identities of those in our industry today.
The Membership 2023 Task Force has worked for several months using data from previous task forces and business consultants to construct a viable membership structure that reflects the maturity of the profession and aligns with the diverse identities of individuals practicing lighting design today, while preserving the quality, integrity, and professionalism ILD has valued since its inception. ILD's current membership is very linear. This does not fit with the wide range of paths to a career in lighting design, nor is it reflective of the skills and experience needed to thrive in today's market and into the future. Reimagining the path lighting designers take to become a professional from linear to circular is a more representative model of today's practices globally. Thinking about each of those paths, there are also allied groups who have a varying interest, impact, and collaboration with light in the built environment and natural environment. This graphic could represent the whole spectrum of interest and engagement, leading to a circular model where the nucleus is defined by the most engaged lighting professionals working out to those on the periphery of our world. Such a model would reflect the ILD's membership well. With a simple structure, ILD could recognize those who are the most engaged and have demonstrated their commitment, knowledge, and design skills in fellows and professional categories, while expanding the design category to acknowledge the range of paths open to joining the lighting profession. In a line more inclusive, the member category could be used to create a more welcoming entry point for any interested party in our community. In keeping with the theme of simplicity and synthesis, ILD spent significant time, as many of you know, and resources defining the lighting profession around the 7 domains of practice. These tenets are designed to provide a framework for the profession, while acknowledging that the needs and content within each would evolve over time. Currently, only CLD makes use of this framework, but through alignment, these could be used across the ILD to help bring greater clarity to a whole range of programs and give a common language to the way education is provided, advocacy is delivered, or awards are assessed. These are just a few examples of how this could work. This framework would provide a structure for membership across the categories and remove some of the ambiguity that the membership committee is asked to deal with in its review process. The proposed membership model allows for more than one path to each membership category up to professional. The pathway recognizes advances in defining our profession since its founders envisioned IALD. So for example, academic degrees in lighting and for evidence-based certification CLD programs. These did not exist 50 years ago. We believe this new structure will advance the IALD to allow for the necessary growth through a defined pathway. So some of you might be thinking, what will happen to my current membership level? Well, let's start with member level. As you can see, this level of membership is an open and inclusive category and serves as a welcoming entry point for those interested in our community. The design level acknowledges their current status as designers and creates a pathway to professional level with career development opportunities. And professional level defines the core and most engaged professional lighting designers and includes those in the College of Fellows. The task force has made the recommendation to elevate current associate level members who meet the experience criteria to professional level. Others will remain at the design level and given a pathway to professional level with ongoing career development benchmarks. We recognize this membership structure is a bold proposal, but one that is necessary for the growth of the ILD to advance its mission and vision and minimize risk of stagnation or worse.
To understand the implications of the proposed changes and to address how this would be implemented, we should recap on how the IALD is governed. IALD is a 501c6 corporation. It is incorporated in the United States of America, specifically in the state of New York. This is where the association was founded, and so it is ruled by local regulations. IALD must promote the common interests of its members, and it must not be engaged in business for profit. IALD's mission is the promotion of the profession and visible success of its members. IALD is not and should not be a market regulator. Antitrust prevents groups of competitors from taking advantage of their position to interfere with the market. Antitrust exists in most parts of the world, so IALD is subject to the United States of America's laws, as well as those in any other country in which it operates. IALD is governed by a board of directors who are elected as provided in the bylaws. The primary responsibility of the board of directors is to set the direction and policy of the association. It is the duty of the IALD board of directors to appoint a chief executive officer. IALD counts with specific committees like the membership committee, the nominations and elections committee, and the Lighting Industry Research Council, LIRC. All of them are in charge of ongoing work of the association. On the other hand, task forces are typically formed to research a specific topic or provide recommendations to the board. Articles of incorporation are a set of formal documents filed with a government body to legally define the creation of a corporation. Usually they include the corporation's name, type of structure, street address, and other business information. Articles of incorporation are used almost exclusively outside of the company. Other documents are more useful internally. Bylaws are set to govern the association along with other documents that include what you can see here: the mission and vision statements, the code of ethics and professional conduct, the membership criteria guidelines, the member complaint procedure guidelines, the director duties and responsibilities document, as well as the LIRC guidelines. Bylaws and the code of ethics might be amended by a vote of the members. The rest of the documents might be amended by a vote of the board. Relevant information about an update in IALD's Articles of Incorporation will be explained next by IALD's President, Monica Lobo.
Before getting into this in-depth session, I would like to introduce you all on really innovative and bold thinking. As IALD envisions a more inclusive membership structure, we believe there is an opportunity to show the wider world IALD is involved, which brought us to the notion of a public statement about being more inclusive and accessible. Currently, the association's name is International Association of Lighting Designers. The proposed change is to become the International Association of Lighting Design, a strong statement about commitment to the whole community and the importance of collaboration within the profession.
The proposed changes will have, if approved, an effect on the bylaws, which will require specific amendments. We will look at these changes, but first, let's talk about independence. Independence is a concept that has been key in understanding the existing culture and values of the IALD. It was necessary to take time, multiple points of view, professional advice, and some distance to break down the idea of independence into its two fundamental components, business model and ethics. Business model has been a commonly used reference in IALD's membership criteria to identify eligible applicants. Clearly, business models refer to how an individual or a company obtain revenue, but it does not directly link to individuals' ethical behavior. Using the business model as a requirement of membership poses an antitrust concern for the IALD, since a nonprofit organization may not become a market regulator. Membership criteria, mainly based on business models of practice, limits the size and growth of membership, which is a direct threat to the future of IALD. On the other hand, there is a second component of independence, which is directly related to the behavior of members. This is ethics. Research conducted for IALD in 2017 concluded that IALD members value integrity very highly. Ultimately, ethics and principles are the most relevant reference of professional conduct, defining how practitioners should act towards their clients, the public, their colleagues, and the profession, rather than the way they conduct their businesses. A better understanding of independence's ultimate purpose makes it the perfect milestone for IALD's evolution. IALD will be a more engaging and inclusive association, one that acknowledges the current reality of practice, ethics, and business. Amendments to the bylaws in Articles 1 and 2 include the change of name, an update in the vision statement, the references to other lighting design fields, and removal of the language related to independent lighting design. Amendments to Article 3.1 consist of a reduction from the current 9 categories of membership into 4. As for Article 3.2.1, the current roles of time devoted to the practice of the profession are removed and transferred into the membership criteria and guidelines document. Article 5.9 is updated in relation to in-person required presence for meetings of the Board of Directors, allowing the use of electronic tools that provide participation in real time. Article 9 should include now the design member reference in replacement of associate member. Article 20 should include the updated name of the association as International Association of Lighting Design rather than International Association of Lighting Designers.
There are necessary updates to our Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. We will continue to focus on integrity as the core of these documents. It will allow for our businesses, our lighting designers, and our business owners to determine how best to serve their clients and what those needs are based on geography and market requirements. The Code of Ethics remains structurally the same, with key changes in language and tenets. You will see we've removed the commentary and tried to bring that all into the Code of Ethics to make sure that they are clear and understood and concise. Code of Ethics establishes principles, ethical standards, and rules of conduct for all members. In the general principles, we acknowledge that lighting designers have an impact on human health in their practice of lighting design, as well as an environmental impact. We talk to IALD members needing to serve their clients competently and in a professional manner, without prejudice or bias in their professional services. We maintain obligations to the public to promote and serve the public interest, to not accept bribes or inducements. We have obligations to the client to render services that are timely and competent. Obligations further to the client to act in an impartial manner when balancing conflicting interests of clients, design, and construction. We have obligations to the profession to advocate for recognition and proper assessment of the lighting design profession. Obligations to our colleagues to work together, to cooperate, work productively, and to make sure that items such as peer reviews are conducted with impartiality and with specific conditions discussed and agreed upon with the client. We have introduced obligations to the environment, as I referenced earlier. These are to understand the environmental impact of our lighting design, both in electricity use and in footprint. We will look at the circular economy. We'll understand dark sky needs in preserving the night sky. Enforcement of the Code of Ethics is per the provisions in the bylaws of the IALD and through a member complaint procedures guideline. We've also introduced a short glossary to make sure that items are very clear and understood.
The issues addressed in these proposals have been part of the IALD leadership conversation since my time on the board and as president over a decade ago. They represent a chance for the IALD to move forward and thrive in the future. They also provide a framework from which the IALD can plan future work. This roadmap highlights some of the things that are in progress and under consideration. Later this year, LERN will launch, offering access to high-quality content to all members. If these proposals are successful, the membership criteria will need to be evaluated and aligned to the domains of practice currently being used as part of CLD. The IALD Awards will be 40 this year, and the IALD needs to ensure they remain relevant and can represent visible success of the lighting design profession. Consideration could be given to the IALD registered practices, and IALD can provide ways to support businesses. Mentoring, education, and research are also on the roadmap as the IALD increases its value and relevance to new and existing members worldwide.
As per the bylaws of the IALD, changes described in this presentation will require a vote of the IALD membership. The vote will be offered to members with two questions. One, to accept the changes in membership structure and the adoption of the Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. The second, the proposed name change of the association. It will be possible for you to vote on either of these motions. IALD's purpose is to support the broad spectrum of lighting designers who want to achieve recognition, have relevant visibility, and be active members of a global community. By supporting their careers, advancing the profession, and being the profession's voice around the world. A robust membership is essential to have a relevant and representative voice. The greater our numbers and diversity, the better IALD will stand for what matters most to lighting designers. IALD's membership today is behind the growth of practitioners around the world. By evolving into an association that thoroughly represents the diverse lighting design profession, IALD will have become significant for its members and the people. In order to provide our members with the same information, a copy of this presentation and the associated documents are available on the IALD website, www.iald.org/vote2023. There are 3 scheduled town halls on the 12th of September, 24th of October, and 2nd of November. Please see the registration links here to sign up. Additional sessions will be provided for those regions where these timed sessions are not convenient. You can also use the link provided on the website to give your feedback on the proposals via a dedicated form.
On behalf of the Board of Directors, as your elected representatives and the task force, we would like to ask you to vote yes to these proposals, allowing IALD to grow and thrive into the generations to come.